Today's tip is how you can use réverance to help you improve your thought patterns in ballet class. It's really common for students to get in like a downward spiral of negativity. As humans, we are naturally really hard on ourselves. Your teacher's job is to correct you. So you're getting feedback that is not intended to be negative, it's intended to be constructive, but not every teacher remembers to tell you what you're doing well. You're in a room surrounded by talent. Everybody notices what they do wrong and what someone else does well. I mean, bless our hearts. We're just tender, vulnerable, beautiful hearts trying our best. But sometimes we can get into habits of looking for the worst in ourselves or not giving ourselves credit. Réverance can help you build a different thought pattern. So this is how I do it. Before you do your réverance, you need to think of two compliments. You need to think of a compliment for a classmate and a compliment for yourself. And then you go through your réverance, and as you are doing your curtsy or bow on the first side, you think of the compliment for your classmate. And as you are doing the curtsy or bow on your second side, you think of the compliment for yourself. This does three things. The first two are super obvious. The first thing this does is this makes you think of something you did well that day. I don't know, maybe you remembered to put your tights on the right way and not backwards, which you think is not a big deal. But the number of times I've looked at a student and been like, your tights are backwards. And they're like, the hole is on the bottom. And I'm like, yeah, but the seam is in the front. How did you do that? Right? Like, it's harder than it sounds. Or maybe you did more pirouettes that day than you usually do. Or maybe you were able to stay focused on a correction for a longer period of class than usual. It could be anything, right? Knowing that you are going to compliment yourself at the end of class keeps that door open during class. You have the task of noticing something that you are doing right or well or better or improving. The second thing that this does, also very obvious, it helps you improve your relationships with your classmates. I have yet to meet anybody who doesn't enjoy a sincere compliment. If all you do is think of the compliment for a classmate, that's okay. But it would be supportive of you if you told it to them after class. And kind of just pay attention to the people that you are naturally and easily complimenting, and then notice the people that you don't always think of. If you have a classmate that you are not thinking of compliments for, you might want to challenge yourself and see if you can come up with a compliment for them, like a genuine from your heart compliment. The third thing that this does is it helps you change your thought pattern. So instead of looking at other dancers and getting intimidated, it switches things from intimidation to inspiration, which is going to be hugely helpful to you. Dance is hard. Dance is competitive. We often go to competitions. There are limited numbers of roles and limited numbers of contracts. Like it's the reality. And we end up in high pressure situations fairly often, competitions, performances, auditions. And it can be really easy to look at someone else doing well and get intimidated, and that kind of shuts you down. But if you start this habit of looking at amazing dancers and being inspired by them, looking for the things to compliment and looking for the ways you want to grow towards that, that's a thought habit that will come with you into the higher stress situations. It sounds like such a not big deal. Like as you curtsy or bow, you think of a compliment for a friend. You curtsy or bow and you think of a compliment for yourself. It doesn't seem like a big deal. It is. I can tell when I give this advice to students, I can tell usually within 6 or 7 weeks who has really been applying it. And it's not because I overhear the compliments. I never do. It's because the dancers start to carry themselves in a different way. They are nicer to themselves. They are more prone to see mistakes as learning and growth opportunities instead of like failures. Practice being nice to yourself because it makes a big difference. And also, you deserve to have people be nice to you.